And good morning, everyone, and welcome back to NeelyFX. My name is Michael Neely, and this is the channel where I talk about foreign exchange trading, and prop firm trading, and making money at all three of those things, hopefully. So let's get into the risk disclaimer screen since I'm in the United States and this is required by law. First, this channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute trading or financial advice. I'm a professional trader, not a broker, trading my own capital. I do not solicit funds, manage client accounts, nor do I hold CFTC or NFA registration. Forex trading is highly speculative with a high risk of losing some or all of your investment capital. Only trade the funds you can comfortably afford to lose. And here's the CFTC risk disclosure. Forex trading carries a high degree of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. The high degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you. Before trading Forex, carefully consider your investment objectives, experience, and risk appetite. So let's get into what's going on today. We're not there. We're here. There I am. Let's see what's going on over here. First, here's the DXY. DXY is kind of going nowhere right now. It's right in the middle of this Bollinger Band. It's right on the 20 period moving average, which is what the Bollinger Bands are. Is a 20 period moving average with two standard deviations on the outer and one standard deviation on the inner. And that is pretty much right in the middle going nowhere. RSI is at 48.77. That's pretty close to in the middle, so not a whole lot of activity going on there. The euro versus the USD. Again, well, we're starting to see a little bit of action here. It's coming down a little bit off the median average, but then not really any quite idea of what direction it's going to go in. So not a whole lot going on there. RSI is at 49.45. Again, right in the middle of 50, showing no bias. Dollar versus the yen. Again, not a whole lot going on there either. It's down to 150.67. It could end up being support. Could fall underneath it again, underneath this resistance trend line. So we'll see what happens with that. Pound versus the dollar. Pound's coming off it a little bit. Not a whole lot to trade yet, but it's got a nice candle right there on the 4 hour. But it's still just dancing underneath this 4 hour this resistance trend line right here, which is my 4 hour resistance trend line. Pound versus the yen. Again, right in the middle again. Not a whole lot going on there either. RSI is at 47.67, so it's taking a slight downward pitch to it. But then that could be, especially with the pound versus the yen, that can erase in a matter of a few minutes. Let's see, pound versus the dollar versus the CAD. Again, not a whole lot going on. So it looks like the markets are waiting on a lot of CPI action to come out this week. CPI numbers come out this week. The U.S. may not come out to a CPI. We'll see if they can come to an agreement on funding the people that release those numbers. We'll get caught up on some economic information too when that happens. Here we have the CAD versus the yen. We have well, let's take a look at the oil markets first, because that depends on the CAD versus the yen, and it's coming down a little bit. Not really crashing, not really showing any bias yet either. It does have a strong downward bias with an RSI of 33.60. So if I were to get into this trade, I'd get into the downward side of oil, and therefore the downward side of the CAD yen, because Canada is a big oil producer, and Japan imports 100% of their oil, so that shows a good indication of what's going on with the oil trade. Dollar versus the or Aussie versus the dollar. Again, starting to come down a little bit. Not a whole lot to see it, so we are starting to see some dollar strength through the markets. Gold has been flat since the open yesterday, but it's not really a whole lot going on with that either. It's right in the middle of this Bollinger Bands again. RSI 55.65, which means it's going to have a slight upward tick so far. Of course, if central banks keep buying gold, then it's going to be going through the roof a little bit later on. Again, we'll resume its upward trajectory. Silver should follow gold. A lot of people call it poor man's gold, but it's I love silver. Let's see, silver is at 51.75. Again, a little bit of a downward tick to it. RSI is at 45.64, so not a whole lot going on there either. So with that, that's a pretty light opening on the market for this week. We've got a lot of CPI data coming out later on in the week that shows inflation in various areas, like the British CPI is coming out. European Union CPI is coming out, and U.S. CPI is maybe coming out on Friday. We'll see if they can get the government back on track to give us those numbers. And if not, we'll trade it anyway. We'll see what we can trade anyway. So with that, that's all I've got for today. It's a very short video today. So if you like the video, then by all means, hit the thumbs up. If you want to know when I'm going to do more videos, then subscribe, and you'll get updates on when I put out more videos. And if you've got a comment about the video, then by all means, send the comment. And, I didn't go over the strength meter, but this is what's going on here. Kind of shifted a little bit. No, not really. Pound has got a lot stronger. We are going to be seeing the pound coming up, getting a lot stronger as it approaches the October 29th projected rate increase. We're still looking at a possible rate increase. Let's see what Google says. So it's at roughly 50%. The market odds at 53%. So it's still a good chance, slightly better than even chance that the Japanese are going to raise rates. They held their cards a lot closer to their chest than we did in the United States. But we'll see what happens with that. If they raise rates, then we'll see a lot of downward action in the UJ and the GJ. So with that, you guys have a great one, and I will talk with you later. Bye.